Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and a member show.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show. Yes, a live stream with music this morning. Let's see how that goes. And the podcast, and of course the Portugal Club, where you can learn with others the Portuguese. How's your Portuguese going? Come on, it's the least you can do is learn a little bit of Portuguese, and we're making it easy for you with our 30-day challenge over at the Portugal Club, which is absolutely part of the package of a Portugal Club membership. Right, let's get underway this morning. We've got an amazing show for you today, an hour-ish, maybe a little bit longer. Christopher Kirby-Higgs will be joining us from the Kirby-Higgs Group, the team that I work for at the agency. So he will be with us at around 8:30 this morning, talking about his work. He's like a real-life James Bond. He lives in Estoril, where James Bond... suddenly people... James Bond, let's have a look at him a little bit later on. Yes, at 8:30, he's joining us. He grew up around where James Bond was... I was going to say conceived, not biologically, but the idea of James Bond arose in Portugal, of course. Ian Fleming was in Estoril, where Christopher grew up in and around that area. He's a racing car driver. He's a handsome chap as well. He's got it all. He's got it going on, and he's selling incredible properties around that area. And we'll see some beautiful architecture, the sort of work that he does and the sort of houses that he represents and sells. At around quarter past this morning, we've got Tanya and Milan joining us. They are going to be with us to talk about the fusion opera, which is, fusion of opera and fado, which is Lágrimas de uma Sereia, which is Tears of a Mermaid, which is an opera fado combo that's happening on the 3rd of August in Nazaré, just up the road. And it's quite the amazing event, also including João Ferreira, the opera singer who you may have seen in Alcobaça. But before they join us, and to worship the sun, I don't know if she's got clothes on or not, and I don't know if I should strip down to worship the sun this morning, but let's bring her onto the screen. I'm on the wrong... Let me just get to the applause. She needs applause when she joins us in the morning. Rapturous applause. Let's go for it. So let's give her a nice round of applause. And bring her onto the screen. Claire in central Portugal. Good morning to you, Claire. How are you?
Olá, bom dia.
Olá, bom dia. Tudo bem?
Tudo bem, sim.
Este calor, the sun is here with us. And that's what we want to talk about this morning, isn't it? You said, let's talk about the sunshine, which of course is one of the reasons why we moved here to Portugal. You can see it streaming into my room here, Claire. And whilst I was making the publicity slide for this part of the show, I was thinking to myself, and this is why I came up with make sun love, not war. Human beings seem to be at odds, even at war with the sun. It hasn't always been like this, has it? And why do we cover ourselves up? We fear the sun. We think we're all going to burn alive and to death, and it's the end of humanity because of all this global warming stuff. What happened?
I don't know, but they say mad dogs and Englishmen. You know.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. I think you have to stay safe in the sun.
Okay, you do.
You don't want to burn.
Yep.
So what you don't need to do is be scared of it. You know, your body is a miracle. Your body knows how to deal with sun exposure.
It's been a while.
Not yours particularly. Oh, mine.
Carry on.
Sorry. So yeah, I'll get onto sunglasses before I get onto sunscreen.
Neither of which I've been a fan of for some reason all my life, Claire.
You may be on a really good thing. But I need sunglasses when I drive because my eyes are bad and I can't drive in harsh sunlight conditions without them.
Yes.
How do you get on without sunglasses driving?
Just bump into things. No, only kidding. I've never got into the habit. I have had maybe one or two pairs of sunglasses. I remember going to Italy and buying some sunglasses because I thought I needed them. But really, I very rarely wear sunglasses and very rarely wear sunscreen. I can't remember the last time I had.
You're doing all the right things. But so when you wake up on a morning and you go outside, you can set your circadian rhythm by looking at daylight, and that's your sleeping and your waking rhythm. So sunlight tells you to get up. We used to all get up with the sun and go to bed when the sun goes down, and that's a beautiful sleep pattern and rhythm to get into if you can do that. Unfortunately, our jobs tell us that we can't do that. We can't get up when the sun goes up, and we can't go to bed when the sun goes down because we're too hyper and wired and we're doing other things. So when you look directly at the sun, there's a thing called sun gazing. Don't know if you've heard of it, Carl. Sun gazing. People build up their ability to look at the sun. Oh gosh, are we gone off? Oh dear. Everyone can see or hear me. Oh dear, am I doing the show now? Okay, so I don't want to say too much without Carl listening and being able to be involved. But yeah, the waking up and the going. Are you back, Carl? Hi.
That was today's power cut. We've done that. We've restarted the computer. It's very weird though, isn't it? Because we were talking about the sun, and I've got fake sun in the studios, and the fake sun flickered. The studio lighting flickered.
Okay.
Thankfully, we don't get that with the sun. But
no.
The powers and this is part of the reason I think why we've developed a strange and fearful relationship with the sun, is because we've created these other ways of lighting and warming ourselves.
Artificial.
Yeah, absolutely. So my artificial system
really
went
good
down.
for you.
Yeah, it was a sort of divine coincidence, just to make a point. But I'm back now. Where were you? Where was I?
Where was I? I was awaking with the sun and going to sleep with the sun, but that's not what we do because we're not allowed. Sorry, my head's being.
Yes.
So there's a thing called sun gazing. People build up their time looking directly at the sun, and we're told not to do that.
Yeah.
I wonder why we're told not to do that. We're told not to do a lot of things that are good for us. We're told, whatever the government says, I do the opposite, Carl. That's just how I am.
I've noticed, Claire, yes.
I don't do what I'm told. It gets me into so much trouble.
You're not alone. You're not alone. And it must be a complete coincidence that I've put Hugh on the screen there this morning. But I definitely get your point there. And this sort of estrangement that we're experiencing from many natural things, and it is a bit of a pretty past, and this is a great subject, isn't it? So you were talking about how we may have originally got up with the sun, gone to bed with the sun, as it were.
Yeah,
it's very different.
Our life is different.
Well, you were talking about sunning ourselves,
sun gazing.
Sun gazing. Okay, go on.
So people do gaze at the sun, and when you look at the sun, the sun's rays, the ultraviolet B shines into your eyes. Okay, if you're wearing sunglasses, it can't do that. It's blocking the sun. So when you gaze at the sun, but gently, you can look at the sun with your eyes closed. I know it's a bit strange, but close your eyes. The sun's still getting through the thin layer of your eyelids, and it's turning on. It's turning on a chemical that then tells your body to produce melanin. Now, you know what melanin is. It turns your skin brown. So I've got a great suntan because I don't wear sunscreen, but I keep myself safe from the sun. I don't go out in the hottest part of the day, or if I do, I'm in shade. I'm not going to burn to a crisp. I've done that before. I'm sure everyone has. Red lobster and whatever, and pain. But if you don't wear sunglasses, the first 10 minutes of your day when you're in the sun, let the sun hit your eyes. Your eyes tell your brain to produce a chemical that produces melanin. And then you are protected from the sun. Actually, if you eat a tomato, the chemicals in the tomato that protects the tomato from the sun will go into your body and help protect your body, your skin, from the sun.
Isn't that funny? That
it's amazing.
In hot countries, a lot of tomatoes grow, don't they? In those.
Yeah, and they're not burnt by the sun. All day they spend in the sun.
There's something fishy going on, isn't there? It's as though a lot of what we've been told isn't necessarily true. And I could hear myself, my inner dialogue, whilst Claire is telling people to look at the sun. No, you mustn't look directly at the sun. But these are all the messages we've embodied, aren't they? And obviously, we're not so stupid that we are going to go out now. I hope not.
And just stare at the sun for 10 minutes. You would go blind. You would go blind. You build up your What's the word I'm looking for, Carl?
Resistance, immunity, or tolerance? Tolerance.
Resistance, tolerant, or something like that. So
Yeah.
you build it up, and then you can gaze directly at the sun. There's people who gaze at it for a long time.
I'm still a little
Sun
bit.
gazing. Google it. There
I'm
must be
nervy
someone
about
Google.
doing that. I've got a confession to make because there was a
Yeah,
little bit
go.
of a craze in the last few years of sunning intimate parts of one's body, and I tried
yes.
it.
I've done it.
It's nice, isn't it? It's actually very
Beautiful.
You don't want to be doing it down the beach.
Oh God, no! Privacy of your own garden, Carl, please.
I set myself up with a very special sunning situation.
Yes, me too.
Which only I could enjoy, and I did enjoy it. I've got to say.
Sorry, sneezed. Sorry.
I can't say too much.
It wasn't a shock of imagining you naked. I promise.
You're all very welcome. Right, only wear sunglasses when skiing. Yeah, a practicality when it becomes unbearable, and you're.
I need them to drive, and mine are prescription.
Yes, and
so.
let's be honest. You're skiing and driving are not natural activities, so you have to do something.
Yeah.
Don't you?
You get glare off the. I used to be a snowboarder. I used to go snowboarding, so you get glare off the. Yeah. So there's lots about me you don't know.
You got. I'm sure you got to take intelligent and practical action, obviously, in certain situations in life. But like you, Hugh, it's funny, isn't it? Once we start talking about these things, everyone starts coming for. Well, not everyone, but
the nutters start coming to talk to me.
Nutters all emerged.
I am the biggest nutter, I will admit.
Gumpers and nutters of the world unite. Never use sunscreen, says Hugh. And look, no sunscreen or glasses here. Read another nutter and try to sun gaze daily. What is going on?
I love the nutters.
My doctor once told me to get some sun on it, but not enough to get burned. A doctor said that. And I think we know what.
That's good. I love doctors like that.
Yeah, we do, don't we? Where can we find more of those? Right, Claire. Sorry, carry on. I'm interrupting you too much.
So let's go to sunscreen ingredients. Okay.
Yes. Go on.
There's toxic ones that are carcinogenic, and they're entering your biggest organ and entering your bloodstream, and it's not good. It's not good for you. Natural products all the way.
Sorry, I need to interrupt you again. My biggest organ, you're talking about the skin, of course, I think.
I am. The biggest organ is your skin.
Just to clarify. Yes, okay.
So, oxybenzone, homosalate, oxybenzone, homosalate, paddy mate, parabens, the list goes on and on and on, and they are toxic, carcinogenic, and then the company that makes sunscreen also makes the cure for the cancers that sunscreen is producing.
Oh, right, okay.
Research. Do your own research, Carl. You know you want to. You know you love it.
Parabéns, although it means happy birthday and congratulations in Portuguese, is different when you put it on your skin and it gets accelerated by the sunshine, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. So, mineral, that's toxic sunscreen, but there are some good ones. Some minerals, non-nano zinc oxide.
Okay.
Titanium dioxide. Oh no, sorry, titanium. Can't read, got no glasses on. And beef titanium. Beef tallow. We're going back to natural beef tallow again.
Hugh makes
so good
tallow. Are you talking about this to put on your skin?
To put on your skin to protect you from the sun.
Claire, Claire, won't Hugh end up looking like a Sunday dinner, like a bit of roast beef? Okay.
No. You say it is oil is much better for you than cream, yeah? And oil absorbs into your skin. I've got 3 ingredients that I use on my skin now to make me look younger and feel better and look great.
It's working, Claire. Go on.
Thank you. I know. It's jojoba oil.
Woohoo.
Jojoba oil mixed with.
You just like saying that, don't we all like saying
jojoba? It's from Australia as well. Not very eco-friendly, but I don't care. When the biggest people in the world become eco-friendly, that's when I shall. You know, when they get rid of their super yachts, their sports cars, and their 10 million houses, then I'll think about recycling. You know?
All right, fair enough.
Don't start me about that.
No, I won't.
So the Egyptians, I'm going back to Egyptians, Egyptology. They used frankincense oil,
Yeah.
frankincense, to rub on mummy's skin, to mummify the skin and preserve it. So that's what I do. I'm a mummy 3 times over, and I rub frankincense oil, jojoba oil, and hexane-free organic cold-pressed castor oil on my face, mixed together.
That's another thing in
a certain mixture.
Castor oil is one of those things from our childhood, isn't it? Where they thought, oh no, we don't want to be going.
Yeah, we used to drink it. Remember?
I know, that's right. And Mrs. M's
Get
got
some
all of these
castor
things in our
oil.
house here.
Pregnant. Castor oil. Have a baby.
We need to bring you back. We got obviously you're on every month, but I love these sorts of conversations that you and I have. But
Okay.
Basically, got 3 to conclude. You know, like your 3 sun-loving top tips. Is that right? Should we do those before you go?
Yes, sun-loving top tips. Okay. Go out in the sun immediately when you get up, if you can. I know if you live in England, I'm sorry. But go out in the sun, and actually don't wear sunglasses. Don't gaze at the sun directly until you built up your tolerance to it. But you can sit in the sun, pointing at the sun, and as long as the sun is hitting your eye, it sends a chemical to your brain.
That's amore.
So that's my first top tip. So no sunglasses for the first 10 minutes. After that you can, because your brain has told, your eye has told your brain to produce melanin to protect you from the sun, because we do need protection from the sun. Wear mineral sunscreen ingredients. And the third one is sunbathe naked. Why not?
All right, it's an invitation. Let's get naked. Actually, over at the Portugal Club, we did get a list from Antonio F of beaches where it's safe to sunbathe as a naked.
I'm still not going. I'm a bit shy.
We've got our own gardens for that sort of thing. We can frighten the horses in our own gardens here in Portugal. So that's excellent. As Gary said, whatever it is you're wearing, it needs an iron. But anyway, don't worry about all of that. And just to come back to a few more of the they're all here this morning. I've stopped using off-the-shelf sunscreens 15 years ago, have made my own with natural oils. Nice one,
amazing, Matty. Wonderful.
And if we haven't been banned already, this is sure to do it. If you do get some sun blemishes, use horse paste. It's brilliant, quite good for all sorts of things, I understand.
I agree.
I stopped using sunglasses since I live in Portugal. No glasses all year round. So I think there are people on the same page as
they
you.
are. People know the truth, although it's hidden very much so.
Yes, absolutely. But like the sun, it's there shining, ready for us to enjoy. The truth, the sun, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same, really. Claire, you absolute legend. Thank you very much. Have a lovely month. Have a lovely summer.
A legend in my own house. Yes, I am.
Yeah, all right, all the best. Oh, no, that's not it. No, you've got to wait for your applause. There she goes. Thank you very much. Ciao. Cheers, Claire. Right. Now, Milan is joining us, as is Tanya, to talk about the tears of a mermaid. This is going to be interesting, but I'm a little concerned not to go to Tanya just yet, because she still seems to be in the dressing room getting ready. Oh, we got a thumbs up. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. Ladies first. Tanya, good morning to you, and Milan as well. Let's do this so that we can see everybody. Hola, bon dia. Tanya, are you there? Hello, Tanya, you need to unmute. Oh, hello.
This is Anya, you say something. We're still in the dressing room with Tanya. We're in the closet, actually. We're in the wardrobe.
My goodness, okay. Let's just take Claire's name off the screen.
Okay, here we are.
Okay, so Milan, you'll have to wait for just a moment. I've got to talk to these lovely ladies here. Tanya, and who else is on the screen with us?
Okay, so this is, I'm Tanya Valentin.
Hi, Tanya. Good to see you.
Okay, and thank you very much for having us.
Well, it's a pleasure.
And this is Anya. She will be the DJ on the show.
Wow.
And we'll start with the nice rhythms to give us like a nice introduction into the evening.
Cool. It's a DJ sandwich, because I see you've got DJ Bruno Sepulveda later on in the evening as well.
Yes, and Anya, the two of them, DJ sandwich, if you want to call it. Yeah.
Yes.
The two of them will perform together.
Wonderful.
And yeah, so right now we are in the workshop actually, where everything is being built.
It's incredible. And we need to get a sense of this incredible show that you're putting on where opera meets Fado. We've got Tanya, we've got Anya, and we've got Milan as well, legend of the San Martino de Porto meetup, and of course lives up the road in Nazaré where this show is taking place. Milan, thank you for working so hard to make this happen this morning. You're such a big fan and advocate of this show. Could you tell us a little bit about it? What captured your interest and excitement around this amazing show that's happening in August? Oh, he's going. He's not. He's coming back. Can he hear us? Do you know what? I don't think he can hear us, Tanya and Anya.
Yeah, I can see him.
Should we wave to him? Can anyone do sign language for Milan? I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah.
Right. Can you hear us now?
No. Yeah, Louis can hear him too.
All right. Well, we'll have to stay with Tanya and Anya to tell us more about the show, and your dog, who's obviously very excited about this upcoming show as well.
And he's everywhere with me, so yeah.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Too loud, too excited, then yeah.
Right. Let's bring on to the screen the visuals for this incredible show that you're doing. So 2 dates, it would appear. The fusion of opera and fado, samba y cinematic musica, lagrimas de sereia. This is the tears of a mermaid. And as I was looking through here, Tanya, I'm thinking another person in the show I recognize this guy. And I'm thinking, I know this fella. He's the one who sings opera in Alcobaça, right?
Oh, yes,
that's right.
yes.
There's
and he's the main character of the show. His name is Raphael, and he's being saved by the mermaid. And he will sing a wonderful repertoire from his Baroque album.
He's amazing, isn't he? He's a beautiful man, beautiful voice, and you can see him singing from time to time in Alcobaça. And he's going to be in this show. Incredible. Who is this character? Because I know you've got people from the town as well. They're going to be in it. The folklorico dancers. It's an absolute extravaganza of talent, isn't it, in Nazaré? Who is this we can see on the screen now?
Yes, this is actually our narrator that brings us through. Yeah, João Cavallo. He brings us through the show, and he's a real life actor, and he has an incredible presence and voice. And when I saw him, I was so happy, because in the beginning I didn't even want to ask him, because this our whole theater is actually a lot with volunteers that want to act, that want to show their creative side, and everybody's coming together. So I'm so happy and glad that he actually wanted to be part of the show as well.
Well, I think that's probably because it's such a beautiful idea, and this, I think Milan can hear us now.
Milan can hear you very well.
That's so good to hear your voice, Milan. And Tanya was saying there, she was a little bit reluctant to ask this actor perhaps to be in the show. But like me, when I first heard about it, everybody wants to be involved in this because it's such an inspiring and exciting idea, right, Milan? Tell us about it from your point of view and what your role is in all of this.
Well, I'm the BS manager, the behind the scenes manager, and for me, it's just a joy to see all these folks coming together and just finding this. It's not only a fusion of opera and fado and samba, it's a fusion of energies and people that are excited about bringing some a really dynamic kind of cultural operatic experience to Nazaré and to the Silver Coast community. It's just really wonderful to see so many people show up and be excited about being part of it.
It's going to be amazing, isn't it? The dates are, as I understand it, it's the 3rd of August. There is another date as well, isn't there? Is it 2 performances that are available to people that people can book for, Tanya?
Yes, there's 2 performances, the 3rd of August on Sunday and again on the 13th of September. The 3rd of August will be at the Praza Toro, the Bull Ring, and the 13th of September will be at the Xavi Pinheiro Theater. Also right there in the Sitio area. So
I see. Okay, so
but
2 venues.
It is really when we put the show together, the thought behind it is like a bit. Last year we did it in the Xavi Pinheiro with opera and chocolate. That was like kind of like the
theme,
the overriding, yes. And it was more like a concert. And this year it is more a story being told with lots of different characters. We are around 40 people participating as actors in the show.
Right. So this is going to be amazing in 2 different venues. I suspect some people want to come twice, right, to see it in those 2 different atmospheres.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is that in the Plaza de Toros, you can do way more. So we have an artist. We have 3 fire artists and acrobats, which we cannot have, unfortunately, in the Xavi Pinheiro.
Yeah, for understandable reasons. Okay,
yeah. So I would go.
And again, it's an
Go on, Milan.
It's also an international cast. You've got New Zealand being represented. You've got Portugal being represented, Germany, Sweden. I mean, it's just an international operation looking to bring not only expats, but people who've moved here, as well as the tradition of Portugal, and just bringing it all together in this amazing, amazing fusion. That's just an opportunity visually. It's stunning as music, and it's also just wonderful, wonderful fun for everybody involved. And last year's any indication, they absolutely loved this style of blending things together and making it happen in a beautifully dynamic, explosive way.
There you go, representing California, of course, Milan there. Tanya, how did you get to be here? I'm detecting a nationality other than Portuguese possibly here. Tanya and Anya, tell us where you came from, and actually how you got to be doing this and putting on this extravaganza here in Portugal.
Yeah, so I'm here since 4 years, and I'm educated opera singer in New York, but I was born in Germany. Left Germany when I was around 17, and I went to New York, and in New York, as you can imagine, when you're young, you just creatively you try everything out, and you can work with so many artistic people, and I always wanted to bring opera to the young crowd, and or not even just young, just to everyone. And I always found it sad that only opera people wanted to go to the opera, and other people didn't really want to go because they didn't really know what it was.
Yeah, right.
So I when I was already like with 21, I started to remix theatrical music like Batman and Matrix with an opera. And
amazing.
Then I performed the opera piece, like not remixed. It's just the intro is being remixed and getting out of it. And
incredible.
So you have the pure opera because I'm not singing anything like a remixed version or whatever. It's really pure opera songs, and but it will be
inside the stories of a mermaid, so that you have this entire storyline being developed as the opera and the samba and the fado is being performed as well. So it's inside of this grand story about mermaids and sailors and love and feeling like being saved, and the sailors. It's a beautiful dramatic as well as a musical experience and extravaganza.
Well, all the great elements, of course, of opera and fado, right? The hero's journey will be there, acted out by Tanya and Joao, narrated by our other actor Joao as well.
Joao, yes.
So quite amazing. Go on,
so I just saw that somebody was asking about bossa nova.
Yes.
And so we have, during the opera, we do not have the bossa nova style, but that's why Anya is there, because she created a really interesting remix in the beginning with, maybe you can tell it.
Yes,
Yeah,
I got.
Anya.
Hello, nice to be here with you.
Go on, tell us about this.
Yes, so about the music, I got from Tanya a few guidelines, what she wanted. And first I thought, wow, how would I put this together? She wanted magical, musical, happiness, modern electronic, Ibiza fun. Oh God, I thought, how can we get all this together?
Quite the combo.
Wow. And absolutely magic. The music, everything came together.
Yeah.
And also all kinds of
Yeah.
styles.
And I heard, I was listening into the set list what Anya created, and she actually was able to find, for an example, there is an electronic version of La Bohème and also of Bossa Nova.
Yeah.
So there are artists.
It's so funny that you asked about Bossa Nova, because there are
Well, yeah,
elements.
Mr. S, he's a bit of a fan of the bossa
Mr.
nova,
S,
but you
there's
can't
elements.
have everything, can you? In there, I mean, this is going to be incredible. You
That's it.
mentioned, this lovely cross section of music and genres, and the atmosphere of The Matrix and Batman, and the setting of Nazaré and the bull ring there. This is going to be amazing. So we do urge people to buy tickets. The first show at the bull ring is going to be the 3rd of August, and there's going to be another, I think, a more intimate setting and show on the 13th of September. You might want to go to both. Tickets range from 15 to 45 euros. And it's going to be an amazing event, and I suspect the first of many, because this is the second outing, isn't it? It's the second year of the production. Is that right?
Yes, this is the second year, and for next year we planned great things again.
There you go. Look, Mel's already into it. Sounds amazing. I am just rustling up some company to go with, and I will book ASAP. I think a lot of other Good Morning Portugal listeners and viewers will do as well. So maybe you can come back before then. Certainly, we need to speak to you after to see how it went as well, and ahead of next year as this grows and grows, and probably tours Portugal, right? Because there's so much appeal for this with the settings we've got around the country, of course.
Yeah,
Building for the future. Building for the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Tanya, all the best with it. Anya, thank you for being here. Milan, thank you very much for being here as well. Bon fin semana to you all. Thank you so much for blessing our screens. Let's just go into this screen so that we can actually see Tanya and Anya for one final time. Thank you so much for getting dressed up this morning. I feel quite underdressed. And Milan, certainly.
Yeah, she's the mermaid warrior,
right?
And I'm one of the mermaid princesses.
You look beautiful and amazing, incredible. Look at this, dressing up on a Friday morning for the show. Let's see what outfit Christopher's managed to get himself. He's our next guest in just a moment. Thank you, all of you, so much for being here. All the best. Take care. And bye for now. Cha-cha. That is quite amazing, isn't it? So book tickets there. The link for doing so. This is going to be this is a very special event. I was going to say once in a lifetime, but no, it's going to be carrying on. And I think there are settings all over Portugal that would be blessed by this scale of production and the excitement and the inspiration there. Tears of a Mermaid, a combination of Fado, of opera, with the atmosphere of the Matrix and the Batman. What's not to like there? Right, I'm going to play some music now because that's what we're doing here on the Good Morning Portugal show. This is the walk-on music for my next guest. And it works on a number of levels because we've got a man who works in real estate, and of course, it's the chain. Oh, here we go. Well, it was the chain. Let me just make sure the Bluetooth is connected again. This is good, isn't it, Christopher? First time he was meant to be on the show, it was I overslept, and now his walk-on music has been messed up. Let's see if we can bring it through again this time by pressing another button. Ah, yes, I believe so. We can. Thank goodness for that. Right, here we go. And I hope you can hear it too. Glorious stereo. Well, there he is. I hope you had your air bass playing there. Mr. Christopher Kirby Higgs, everybody. How about that? See what I did there, Christopher? The chain. You're in real estate and you're a racing driver. How are you this morning? Great to see you.
I'm great. I'm great. It's always a real pleasure to be here on the show. So much appreciated. You can hear me well, yeah?
Music. Yeah, absolutely, loud and clear. And
Okay.
I know in our earlier conversations to and froing about your music choices this morning, you love music. So what did you make of that, this show that's coming to Nazaré? Batman and Matrix vibes with Fado, Samba and opera. It's going to be amazing, I think.
Well, that's the thing. I really appreciate being on this show precisely because of this whole theme of music. It's also it's a big part of my life as well. And the truth is, I'm a big fan. And I think Lágrimas de uma Sereia is when I came on and saw this, caught me totally by surprise because, I've always been one of those that, I've lived in Portugal now for 39 years. Half British, half Portuguese, yes, but since 1986, this is my home, and I've seen over the years, let's say, the whole evolution of foreigners coming to move into Portugal, way before I got into real estate, of course, and if there's one thing I've always appreciated is people being able to also appreciate what Portugal also creates music-wise, because Portugal, to be fair, is an enormous music country. I say this because, when we have, first of all, we're one of the countries that probably has the most variety, one of the largest varieties of music genres that come to Portugal and play in Portugal. I mean, we're talking about absolutely everything. We even have now in Sinas, we're going to be having Músicas do Mundo, Music of the World, which is an annual festival, which has all different types of genres of music playing in that festival. But one of the things is that Portuguese music itself was always kind of not very well known, and to see now people that are associating opera and Fado is just, for me, absolutely perfect, because it's always what Fado deserved. Marisa, for example, is now our probably most notorious Fado singer, and she was probably the first. Ana Moura then came more or less at the same time, and Ana Moura even played with the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
But Marisa was the first one to kind of just give a more modern twist to Fado and incorporate a bit of a jazz to it, and a bit of the electric guitar to it as well. So it's really good. And I, unfortunately, on the 13th of September, will be actually having a race in Valencia, and I won't be able to make it. But the 3rd of August, I'm certainly very interested in going to this event at the Praça de Touros in Nazaré, because I'm sure that this is absolutely phenomenal and definitely one of those one of those events that really needs to actually go to Porto, come to Lisbon, go down to the Algarve. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully, that's what's going to happen in years to come. Now, you slipped into the conversation. You'll be away at a race. Now, when I was describing you earlier on, Christopher, it was a James Bond kind of lifestyle. There you are, working in this beautiful high-end real estate, and we've got some amazing architecture to share. A beautiful property that you've been working with. You grew up around where James Bond was conceived of, was thought up by Ian Fleming. You're a racing driver, and you live in Cascais, Estoril. It's quite the lifestyle, is it not?
I'm not going to complain, that's for sure. I mean, of course, I've been very privileged, and it is like that. My father was basically someone who came to Portugal as a manager for Unilever in his early 20s. Met my mother, Portuguese mother from Porto, but they met in the Algarve. So, he was one of those, 1970s expat stories when there still weren't so many around, but there still were, because we already had about 6 international schools in this area. So even though my father was transferred to, in this order, he was then transferred to Istanbul and then to Kenya, where I was born, and then to Canada. Yeah, I mean, I left Kenya at 5 months of age. So, I mean, I was born there, but I, of course, don't remember it quite well. And of course, I was brought up as a baby in Toronto until I was about 9, which is why this accent's a bit weird. And then moved here. So, yes, I've lived in Cascais since 1986. I was very lucky to go to St. Julian's, which is one of the, if not, to be fair, the best school pretty much in Portugal, and definitely the number 1 international school, and definitely the one that has the best ratings and the most successful students in terms of exam results, so on. And yes, I race cars since 1995, and now I race. I just had a race last week, 2 weekends ago. 2 weekends ago in Estoril. And then we have one in Valencia, and then we also go to the Algarve. So yeah, it's definitely a great life. It's obviously it's a very luxurious life. And yes, I was brought up close to the James Bond Hotel Palacio. I'm friends with the owners, the Albacker family. They are the owners of the Hotel Palacio. And I mean, they weren't the original owners. The original owners was the Fausto Figueiredo family, Fausto Figueiredo is the statue. If anyone ever goes to the Casino Gardens, there's a statue of a gentleman there who is Fausto Figueiredo, and Fausto Figueiredo is the person who bought a lot of land in Estoril back in the early 1900s and decided to build the Hotel Palacio, Estoril Sol Hotel, which is now the Estoril Residence, the Hotel Atlantico, which is now the Intercontinental. And then during the Second World War, since you mentioned it, during the Second World War, we had the British spies in the Hotel Palacio, and we had the German spies in the Hotel Atlantico. And it was lots of tales about, when the British would commemorate a lot of victories, the Germans could hear them all the way from the other side of Estoril. And very rarely, yes, this is really a historically true story. And, and when the Germans won, like maybe the Brits could hear the Germans celebrating at the Hotel Atlantico. So you can imagine how strange Estoril was at those times.
Yes.
Cascais wasn't what it was today. Cascais is basically an extension of Estoril, because there wasn't any more space. So basically, Estoril grew into Cascais, and that's where the original story is. And then we had an Ian Fleming, who was a Navy spy for MI6 that was staying. So he was a Royal Navy officer, also MI6, and he was staying at the Hotel Palacio. And he met a Serbian spy, which was Sokol. I always get his name quite wrong, but and he basically became super inspired by this Serbian spy. As you can imagine, it wasn't a British spy that inspired James Bond; it was a Serbian spy that inspired James Bond. And Ian Fleming basically based his first book on this spy that he met in the Hotel Palacio. That's why the Casino Royale is, in fact, our Casino Estoril, not the one in Montenegro, but actually the one in Casino Estoril. But he wanted to give it, by the way, but he wanted to give it a more fancier name, so he called it the Casino Royale. So yes, James Bond is 100% Estoril created, and yes, it's been an absolute, bliss and blessing for me to live in this area for so long.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's quite incredible. And another, another touch of Portuguese in something we all know and love, which is so often the case, isn't it? Portuguese is behind so many things. And when you scratch the surface, there's some Portuguese history or culture there. And I understand the bellhop, the original bellhop, who was a young lad in Casino Royale, still worked at or still does work, or worked until very recently at the hotel.
The Hotel Palacio, yes.
Yes.
It must be till literally. I mean, I saw him there like 2 years ago.
Right.
So yeah, he's been there ever since, and obviously ever since I started hanging around at the Hotel Palacio since the 80s as well. And
Yes.
I'm not sure if he's still there now. He's already quite an old man, but yeah, he's gone on and on and on, and obviously became kind of a mascot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So how did you get into motor racing, into driving fast cars? And how does one get into that? If somebody's coming to Portugal and would like to do that and maybe drive the great tracks either at Estoril or in Portimao, those are the two principal tracks, aren't they? And they've hosted F1 events. How did you get into it? How do other people possibly get into it, or get a little taste of it anyway?
Well, actually, now that you mentioned it, so I created a racing academy this year called Racing Fury Academy. If you go to Instagram and just write Racing Fury Academy, it will show up.
Yeah.
And it's a new academy, but obviously I have a lot of networking from the racing world. And since I also race formulas and I also race go-karts, professional go-karts, I realized that there was a bit of a gap in the market, which was that there wasn't the possibility for people to be able to just rent these vehicles and be able to use them. I mean, you can rent Lamborghinis and Ferraris. It's very special corporate, very special elitistic corporate events that cost a fortune. And obviously racing, whether it's even go-karts or formulas, obviously cost a bit. But I set that up. So if anyone ever wants to race with us, that's exactly what we do. We're going, I'm now going on the 31st of July, since we now have kind of school holidays. And a lot of our let's say rookie drivers are students that are obviously off now of school. So it's easier for us to use karting tracks, for example, during the week. So yeah, that's the academy that we created this year. That's a video of me racing that video there in the middle of last 2 weeks ago. So right. It was very, very interesting, but you guys can then check that out, of course, in your time. And yeah, it's basically one of those that we give that option for people to be able to let's say live the dream. I actually started racing. So the interesting story was that I was actually someone that was trying to be a tennis player, a professional tennis player. And I was quite good at it. I was number 11 in juniors in Portugal. And I would go to academies in Germany. And it's anyway, long story. And basically I was only 15 at the time when then, they had obviously, let's say, different activities than just us playing 7 hours of tennis every day. So one day they took us to the Nürburgring karting track just for fun. And I went on the track and did quite well to the point that since I completely overlapped every single person that was there, I realized, well, gee, it looks like I'm better at this than even tennis.
Yeah.
So basically, I got back to Portugal. I literally went the next weekend to Évora in Alentejo, a beautiful UNESCO village, a city that we have. It's actually the capital of Alentejo region. And they had, at the time, still do, but at the time it was one of the best karting tracks in Portugal. And I went on the track, and obviously the rest kind of became part of my life, because it just became it ended up, I've always been a very big sports person and music person, of course, as we're talking about, but much more into sports. And it just became a natural transition. Tennis, I had a bit of a, let's say, physical limitation because I'm quite short. I'm only 5'5", which for tennis is really not good. And for motor racing, it's actually perfect. So it all just ended up, it just ended up mixing together. Actually, my first word, my parents told me the first word I ever said was not mom or dad, it was car. So I guess that says a lot.
Meant to be. Amazing.
Meant to be.
So that's really great to know. That I've got Miguel Franco, who used to kart race with Ayrton Senna. He's moving to Portugal from Brazil later on this year, and he does amazing things with CEOs using the whole context of high speed driving as a transferable sort of metaphor for running a company, which I think is a pretty good parallel. So I'm sure you two will get on great. And Colin, our motoring correspondent, who was on yesterday talking about the electric car show, I'm sure Colin will want to meet you as well at some point. And maybe we can have a meeting, a Racing Fury Good Morning Portugal meeting, and see who wants to come along and have a race one day. That'd be fantastic.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of karting tracks as well. I mean, we've got these 2 F1 tracks, haven't we? But there is quite a good network of karting tracks around Portugal, I understand.
Yes, correct. So, I mean, we have obviously the Estoril, where Ayrton Senna won his first race back in 1985. We just celebrated the 40-year anniversary of his victory, and a very interesting gentleman called Keith Sutton. So Keith Sutton was the main photographer for Formula One for the last 40 years. And his closest, let's say the person he got closest to was Ayrton Senna. And actually, Keith Sutton features in the Ayrton Senna series, the Netflix series of Ayrton Senna. And I had the privilege of meeting Keith Sutton. He lives in Val de Lobo in the Algarve.
Really?
So there you go. That's the way it goes. And this also happened. Yeah, this also happened because Ayrton Senna had a house in Quinta do Lago and inspired Keith Sutton to also go live nearby, precisely because, Keith Sutton's idol is Ayrton Senna. I asked Keith Sutton the other day, I was like, Keith Sutton, you must have gone. You must be the person who's gone to the most Grand Prix in history. And he said, well, very humbly, he said, well, I've been to over 700.
Wow. Incredible. What a life.
So
what a life.
He's a great man that we could bring onto the Good Morning Portugal show, because he's super approachable.
Yeah, this must be a residency, Christopher, with all that you know about Portugal and these incredible stories you have. Which leads us on to real estate, because, of course, you grew up in Estoril, so you're making use of the facilities. That's where the Portugal Tennis Open is, I think. That's where the racing track is. And what else is there in Estoril and Cascais but fabulous buildings, property, homes, and incredible architecture? So that was obviously an easy and natural thing for you to get into. Have you been doing that for a long time? Is that what you've been doing all your working life in real estate?
No. So actually, I've only been doing real estate for 5 years. I was I worked for 16 years in private aviation. I worked for the market leader of private jets in the world, NetJets, who actually their European operations are based in Europe. Their European operations are based in Lisbon. And basically, so I worked for them for 16 years. And then I did want, to be honest, to make a career change. And I've always been very interested in real estate and in architecture. And exactly for the reasons that you say, Cascais, Estoril, Portugal, such a fantastic place. It always was beyond me how it took so long for people to discover the marvel that is Portugal, the phenomenon, the phenom that is Portugal. And now it has finally come out. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I used to complain about it. Nowadays, it's a blessing that we didn't market it too much, or else maybe we'd be a bit exasperated in terms of that. And it's good that it's been a very slow transition with how many foreigners now live in Portugal. I mean, now we have 1.5 million foreigners living in Portugal. I can tell you that 20 years ago we had exactly half of that. We had 700,000. So we've had that much of an increase. We've doubled the amount of foreigners live in Portugal in the last 20 years, which is fantastic, of course, and it brings a lot to the table, like Lágrimas de uma Sereia as a perfect example of foreigners further improving Portugal and its infrastructure. And to be honest, the Portuguese are fantastic in many things, but they do need also help. And this whole globalization has only made Portugal better. Sometimes things need to be a bit filtered out or a bit controlled and a bit protected. But we're doing a great job. And to go, yes, Nicole Kidman is coming to Malich. She's just applied for her residency. That property that you're just showing now, Carl, is actually a property that we have, very exclusive property that we just sold this week. It's the finest property that we've really sold. As you can see, it speaks for itself, that video. That architect, Rui Jervis D'Autoguia, was an architect that was a friend and was inspired by Oscar Niemeyer, who's a very famous architect from Brazil, who designed all of the capital of Brazil. Brasilia was all designed by Oscar Niemeyer. And this architect, he was a friend and was inspired. Actually, this property was built, so this architect, Rui Jervis D'Autoguia, also was the person who designed the Gulbenkian in Lisbon, if anyone knows about the Gulbenkian.
Of course, absolutely. Amazing building.
So it's an amazing building. It features in a tourist video of Cascais, filmed in 1954. And this house, of course, was completely modernized. As you could see, what an absolutely, I'll tell you, this house is a gem. It's a one-of-a-kind property, because this architect only built this house as his private house. All of his other constructions were much larger scale, so it's got a very unique twist to it. And we just sold it. We just signed the deed on Monday, and it's just one of a piece. And that's the thing. I mean, it's a privilege for me to be able to showcase properties like this to foreigners and to Portuguese. Obviously, a lot of the clientele in Portugal is still Portuguese. 79% of purchases in Portugal are still done by Portuguese, and then the other 20 to 30% are done by foreigners. So the Portuguese is still the largest market. This was obviously sold from a Portuguese person to actually a foreigner, which of course happens quite often. But anyway, so it's a phenomenal house just off the center of Cascais. You wouldn't think so by looking at this. You would think it's probably in the middle of some park, which it is. It's right by a park, but it is actually 10-minute walk from the center of Cascais. Absolutely magnificent.
Stunning, isn't it?
So
right, we got another one of your music selections here. We are in the early days of bringing music into the show, and we're having a few teething problems, but I'm going to do my best to do F1 justice, which is one of your selections for the rest of, having a lovely look at this this property here. So let's fade us down and play a little bit of music and see how this goes. Obviously, Ferraris.
Obviously, Ferraris.
Incredible. Absolutely wonderful. And the architect, if you could give us his name again, please, Chris, that'd be amazing.
So his name is Rui, R-U-Y, Jervis de Autoguia. The Autoguia is one of those tricky names to get right, but he was one of the most notorious architects in the 50s in Portugal. Like I said, he built the Gulbenkian, he built some other palaces as well. And to go back to that music, though, Carl. So I know people probably just got the very end of that tune. That tune I chose because you had asked me to choose a music that was directed also to real estate and my kind of music genre. So that is actually labeled F1, that tune, because that's the official soundtrack for the movie that's currently in the cinemas, the F1 movie, which was made by Apple Studios. Right. That's the official music. If you guys listen to it from the beginning to the end, it's a Hans Zimmer masterclass. It's Hans Zimmer. I mean,
yes, yeah.
We don't need to introduce that gentleman, and he's made another absolute masterpiece with this tune. And of course, I've already gone twice to see F1 movie at IMAX because it is.
I was going to ask you, what do you think? What do you think of it?
It's a brilliant movie. Right, obviously, there's all this stuff about but for the connoisseurs and guys, obviously, no one makes movies for connoisseurs of any type. It's a fantastically well-made movie. Honestly, it's one of the best well-made movies of a sports movie I've ever seen. I'm a big sports guy, so I watch every single movie that's related to sports. And this one, I would say, is probably the very best one. It's been exceptionally well made. Of course, it's got all this kind of exaggerated drama and tactics that you wouldn't really use in real Formula One. Doesn't matter. It's a fantastically well-made movie. All the actors are brilliant. Brad Pitt, as we know, is not the best.
It's a movie, right? It's a movie, not a documentary.
It's a movie.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Yeah,
and it's really, really, really well done. It's from the producer, the director of Top Gun, and I have to say he's put a real good one together. Hans Zimmer is amazing as always. So that's why I sent you that music. So that was actually the music I put on my Instagram video when I announced that I'd sold that property that we had just shown. So that's the movie that plays in my Instagram video. That's the music that plays and I just think it's brilliant. So that's
we'll
why
make sure we do it justice, because we are bringing more music in. We appear to have a few technical difficulties doing that, but it's my intention to have more music on this breakfast show, and we'll be live streaming from 8 till 9 every morning. And what we'll do is we'll put probably the official video and the tune over on the Portugal Club, so people can enjoy it in its full glory without any distractions and hear the whole track as they should. So we'll make sure that happens. We look forward to welcoming you back and having a bit of a residency. Let's have a look at another one of your properties before you go.
Thank you.
You are dealing in the most exquisite, I think, sites and buildings here. Tell us a little bit about this one, and we'll run the video in the background, and then we'll go out with a tune that for you that represents Portugal. That's going to be a difficult choice, isn't it? There are thousands you could have chosen. You went with Judas
Absolutely.
But before we go there and we play out with that this morning, Christopher, tell us about this incredible site here.
Right. So this incredible site, it really is one of a kind. Again, the architect is a gentleman called Vitor Vitorino, and this was the house that actually inspired Cristiano Ronaldo to build his house in Quinta da Marinha. Basically, Cristiano Ronaldo's house is an exact copy of this house. The difference is
right?
It is. So it's the same architect, it's the same builder, it's the same designs. The difference is that this house is only 1,850 square meters of living space. I mean, it's huge. And Ronaldo decided, I want the same house, but I want it to be 4,500 square meters. Yes.
So he could play football inside. He could play football inside. Right.
He could, he could race a Formula One car inside. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo's house is, to be honest, way too big. But anyway, I guess when there's someone like him, why not? Yes. And this house is what inspired. I mean, the owner of this house obviously is friends with Ronaldo, and that's exactly what happened. He went there one day. He loved it so much. As you could see, the house is absolutely magnificent. It's right there in the heart of Estoril. It overlooks the Atlantic Ocean. It's facing south, so you literally have the sunrise and the sunset, both that you can see both of them. So you have sun all day long. That's all travertine, Italian travertine stone on the outside and inside. All of it is travertine. It's absolutely exquisite. It is, to be fair, the most valuable house in Portugal at the moment. I won't disclose the price, but it is the most expensive property that is for sale at the moment currently in Portugal. And I think the only house that could maybe surpass it would be precisely Ronaldo's. Obviously, it's a needle in a haystack in terms of the type of clients that qualify for this property. We will be doing actually a visit next week with a client from Brazil that's going to be checking out this property. But that cinema room, I have to tell you, that cinema room that just shows up very briefly is the most amazing cinema room I've ever seen in a house, with completely soundproof everything. Cost 300,000 euros just to make that cinema room. Anyway, it's unique. That's why I sent it to you. Obviously, I don't think any of us might have pockets for this, but it's
you never know. You just never know, do you? You never know who might invite us there. And we'll play that again as we listen to Ajuda Pontebello as we leave today. But it's more of a destination than a home, isn't it? And I'm guessing it's affordable for somebody, isn't it? If you've got the money, it's affordable housing. It's a destination. If you lived there, you'd have to be entertaining pretty much all the time, would you not?
Well, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. These are one of these houses that obviously are meant for obviously showing off and entertaining. And as someone said here, affordable housing. I mean, we sell properties as low as 100,000 euros, and then we sell properties like the one I showed you just previously, which went into high digits, and this one obviously even higher. That's the thing. We sell everything, and I have properties all over Portugal. I'm selling properties in the Douro. I'm selling properties in the Algarve. I'm selling properties in the Alentejo. I'm going to the Alentejo next Wednesday to Montemoro Novo to get a new listing. And like I say, I've sold properties that are 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. I mean, affordable housing. It's affordable to whatever we can afford. Obviously, there are many people coming to Portugal that can afford properties like the one where we just saw. We do have a lot of millionaires that are realizing that Portugal is a safe haven, because everyone on this show knows by now that Portugal is a safe haven. And those who don't know, we can definitely vouch for it. Carl and I, Carl, you live in an amazing place in São Martinho do Porto. That's also part of my youth. As you and I have spoken before, I used to go every summer to São Martinho de Porto because it was one of the resorts for the Cascais, let's say the more high-end Cascais families, the more upper class, nouveau riche as well.
They
for
still
sure.
come here. They still come here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So and that's what Portugal allows, and you can buy a house for 50,000 euros, an hour and a half from Lisbon, as you can also buy one for various million. So it's all open. Of course, that house is a very unique, special place that obviously is a bit of a Saint-Tropez style, and that's exactly what Portugal, what Cascais and Estoril is, the Portuguese Riviera, and it needs to become a bit more that. But of course, it needs to be also sustainable, and that's what I always tell people when they ask me. It's like, oh, I can't afford Cascais. Well, you can buy a house in Cascais for 400,000 euros, a house, not an apartment. You can buy a house for 400,000 euros in Cascais, and you can also buy one for 10, 15, 20 million. So it's, everything's possible here.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be either or, does it? I mean, we are quite capable in Portugal of having affordable housing if you get the politics right, and the most incredible experiences and luxury that would attract people from all around the world. It really doesn't have to be either or, I don't think. And that sort of diversity and richness of experience, I think, is what a lot of people love about Portugal as well. And that's not to prioritize or put anyone up or down or whatever. It's still, something for everyone. Hopefully, that's the kind of utopia we can look for here, isn't it? Is that everyone's needs are met without having to limit anything as well. That's a great human game to be playing, and an exciting one, I think, and an inspiring one, and a picture that could take place in this very country. Bon dia todos from Antonio F as well, and anyone in Madeira felt today's earthquake. Okay, we've had a power cut, we've now got an earthquake, and considering then with all of what's going on with tremors and so on, we've done extremely well to put out a radio show this morning, barring a couple of technical hiccups, which I hope you'll forgive me, Christopher. At least I turned up this morning, right? Which is an improvement on last time.
Yeah. Last time, that's true. Last time it was a no-show, but no problem. I then went and walked my dog, and then got on with business as usual. But no, I mean, look, earthquakes. The earthquake was tiny. The one that has been mentioned here, it was probably less than 3.
Nothing to a Californian, right?
No, I mean, look, Portugal has around, this might scare some people, but we have around 2,000 earthquakes every year. But those earthquakes are between 1 and 3 on the Richter scale. Okay. Yes. And the good thing about that is that it actually, and it's been proven that it actually releases the pressure of our tectonic plates. And so, guys, there's nothing to worry about. The last large earthquake we had here was in 1755. I have felt 2 that were at 6.3 in my 40 years of living here. So, in 40 years, if there's maybe you feel the ground shake twice, I mean, let's be honest, one every 20 years is not going to do much, is it? So,
well, we're like that. We need to shake every now and then to let off a bit of pressure. Why is the Earth any different? Before you go, you drive a variety of interesting cars in ordinary life. I just somehow doubt you have an ordinary life. But what does Sarah mean about that?
Sarah is a client. One of my first foreign clients that I ever worked with, quite a few years ago, isn't it, Sarah? So they're actually building a phenomenal property. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this.
She's told us that already.
Okay. So they've got
no addresses though, right? No addresses.
No addresses. But they're building an amazing place. And I know that they're super happy in Portugal, and they love, for example, biking trails and Portugal for bikers. For bicycle, not motorbikes as well, but for bikers is absolute bliss. And Sarah's definitely one of those people that could easily talk about that. In terms of driving a variety of interesting cars, I have had I'm not one of these people that has Lamborghinis and Ferraris down in my garage. None of that. Okay, can't afford those. But I have driven obviously a variety of cars also just through my network. I own nothing special. I own a 1985. Toyota Celica Supra, which is a very unusual because it's a very rare car. There's only 3 of them in Portugal, so it's certified by the Caramulo Museum. The Caramulo Museum is our most famous museum. If anyone wants to know, it's called Museu do Caramulo. It's in the Serra do Caramulo, and it has one of the most exceptional exhibitions of cars you'll ever see anywhere in the world. I would say that without any hesitation. The Lacerda family, over 100 plus years, has collected cars. I mean, we're talking about cars that, the ones that belong to our dictator Salazar,
Yes,
to the
notably, yes, his car is there, isn't it? Yeah, amazing. And another
his,
great
his car
treasure
is
that
there.
you're revealing to us. Thank you for doing so this morning. It's been a wonderful introduction to you. Some great things you've
Thank
told
you.
us about Portugal. So looking forward to. I think we need to make this a regular date, if that's all right with you, Christopher. Why have you
My pleasure.
chosen this Juntos e Pontapés track, and what is it?
So Chutos e Pontapés is Portugal's answer to Rolling Stones, or I would say Rolling Stones. They've been around. They just celebrated their 40th year career year. So this is their symbol. Chutos e Pontapés. X is their logo. They're basically Portugal's #1 rock band. I'm not going to say that I'm absolutely. I mean, there's so much music that I love in Portugal that we didn't really get too much time to talk about. We can always do that another day, because Portuguese music expands immensely. But Chutos is basically Portugal's most famous rock band. It's the one that basically every single music fan of Portugal, whether they like trance music or fado or opera or classical, and I like all of those, by the way, but Portuguese as well, everyone has a soft spot for Chutos e Pontapés, even if they're not huge rock fans. So Chutos plays a very important part to the Portuguese society, and that's why I decided to send that to you, because it is one of also their nicest tracks. They have many, but this one's a very, very nice one. And well done, Sarah. I'm looking very forward to that. And Chutos basically just represents in many aspects Portugal.
Very good. All right. On that note, let's go over to them. Let's have a little bit more of a look at some of the property. And to thank you and wish you a bon fin de semana, Christopher. Até a próxima. We look forward to seeing you soon. Again, thank you so much. Over to Juntos e Pontapés.
Thank you. Obrigado.
Vida vai
Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need